After the sudden death of my husband, I've had a lot of people just coming in my inbox asking me lots of questions about grief. And so the other day I just decided to do kind of a Q&A, ask me anything. And most of it was surrounding grief, and some of it was just kind of other random questions. I did not get through all those questions, so just let me apologize. Let me tell you this. The first thing I thought, I'm going to answer all these questions, and then I started answering them, and I started going down these deep spirals. And so I had to take a break from it. But I'm going to be open up my inbox about once a week, just answering questions for you, because I think that's really important. Now I'm going to guard that time because I can't stay there. Grief is overwhelming, and it's suffocating, and it's all the things, and it's every day for me. But I only have so much energy to be able to, outside of just kind of turning my camera around and doing a coffee chat about grief and the real rawness of grief and losing my husband. I just, I got to set those boundaries for myself. But one of the questions that is asked often is, what do you find is the most difficult thing about grief? And friends, that's a really heavy one, but it's an easy, resounding one. Grief itself is a monster. Grief itself is indescribably, unbearably so difficult to put into words, to even understand yourself, even when you're walking through it. But the most often asked is, what is the most difficult thing in grief? For those that haven't experienced grief before, or maybe have experienced grief but not in their immediate circle, maybe not a spouse. That number one answer for me, I could dissect it a gazillion different ways, that I would take this grief times a million if I could just take it away from my kids. That's the hardest. Is seeing them through their grief, helping them through their grief. Each and every one of them are dealing with it differently, and then it's a roller coaster of emotions. But that's 100% what my answer would be. The most difficult thing about grieving is trying to be able to fix something for your kids that you can't fix. And for those of you that haven't had a big, tremendous loss in your life, but have grieved maybe seasons or grieved accolades, you know, something maybe your kids have done that they aren't able to do anymore, or you know, just maybe those little hurts along the way of just regular parenting is hard. It's so hard. And to see your kids hurt is awful. It's awful. So multiply that by the worst pain they've ever felt, multiply that by a million, and that's the pain that they're feeling right now. And I just want to be able to take it away. But I can't. But I know the one who can. And he may not take it away, and may be a thorn in their side for the rest of their life. But I pray that the grief that they feel right now will have purpose. I pray that the grief that they are feeling right now, no matter the grief they feel his presence. And that God continues to equip me with every tool that I have and that I need necessary to help them in their journey. It is a line in the sand. Our life has completely changed, and we have a choice. Do we sit and do we wallow? Because gosh, it sure feels like we should. And there are moments in the day that we absolutely do. But there's a line, and God's saying, daughter, son, the closer you get to that line, the more I have you. Trust what's in store. I am still writing your story. There is purpose in the pain. Just like when he went to the cross, there was purpose, so much more purpose than we understood or the disciples understood at that time. So much purpose in the cross. So the number one hardest thing in my grief is seeing my kids grieve and not be able to tangibly fix it. Oh, it's heart crushing. It's heart crushing. But I'm going to be opening up my inbox with questions. I can't answer them all, but I'm going to do my very best to take about 10 to 15 minutes every week and just answer a few. Or maybe turn the camera around and answer them this way sometimes. So I love you all. I want you to know that life doesn't offer you multiple chances. So whatever that friendship or relationship that you have is messy, just understand and accept that life is messy, relationships are messy. But learn to give grace and appreciate the little things instead of nitpicking the extras, you know? There's always gonna be the extras that are kind of an annoyance. But lean into those relationships and love your people. Because you never know when that final sunset will come. And you do not want to live in regret. Lean in and love well.